Back at Capure, the fears and expectations of some of the students are aired openly.
Okay, so does anyone want to share then their fears and expectations?
Well, I was expecting to have 11 computers for the 11 pupils that was coming, and then I get told that there's no reception.
When we get onto the computers, I'm sure everybody will, if not have one computer each, have one working between two people. Now, we haven't gone on to computers yet, so this is...
And I can understand that, but I've asked about them.
Yeah.
And I've been told that there won't be, but I was told before we came down that there would be.
Would we be not better off learning out the right first?
But as I said, it's up to everybody themselves, but I'm only giving my opinion.
I know what you're saying.
And these are my expectations. So I've been asked and I'm telling how I feel.
With time ticking by, the tutors decide to push on and introduce ceramic artist Michelle Marr.
So I'm going to show you something now. It's a very familiar object. I'm going to show it to you first and then we're going to blindfold you. So it's a sphere, okay? All have a good look at it. Right, now blindfolds on. Now just
It's important for each individual to identify what kind of learner they are. Do they depend more on their eyes, ears or hands? Through observing the group's pottery making, Bobby and Kathleen can observe each person in action. This task is designed to broaden the participants' minds about learning and explore talents they didn't even know they had.
An ice cream cone.
Some of the participants were quite eager to get into when are we going to be doing the reading, when are we going to be doing the spelling and the writing, but it's important before that for people to find out what their learning styles are, techniques of how to remember words, how to spell words. This 8 weeks is not just about that the learners will be able to read and write perfectly after the 8 weeks. It's giving them the skills and the techniques that can go away themselves.
Seeing the other side of you that you didn't think you had.
The group seemed to be gelling quite well and also helping one another, and there's a lot of teamwork there. Stacey and Paul, I suppose because they're the younger members of the group, but they're both very, very bright young people, and I think we'll see great improvement. Is any part difficult at all? No,
I enjoyed it.
Very good.
Enjoyed it all.
Okay, it's lovely.
I'm mostly enjoying looking at his piece because I think it's gorgeous. I was born in New Street, right? It's near St. Patrick's Cathedral, right? And I went to school in Weaver Square. I left there at 6.5 and I went to convalescent home. I never got any school and that was my problem.
Give us a bag and I'll be able to pick out where I want, please.
I was there for 2 years and 9 months, but I tell you what, it seemed like a lifetime. It was like a prison sentence. And I was so much in fear, sure, none of us could learn because we were all in fear. Because I was the nearest to the nun when she'd come down to try and teach us, all she'd done was bet the children.
Will you have your own customers? Yeah. Definitely.
You see, I can read, and I'm not bad at reading either. But I would put my life on it. If I had been taught, I would have been able to write as well. Because if I could learn myself to read, I most certainly would be enabled, if I'd got the education, to be able to write. No matter what anybody tells me, people do look down on you. People do look down on you. And when I have to write my address, I take out my pension book for to see Rath Farm on it, so that I can actually write down Rath Farm. That's what I have to do. I used to mind Stacey a lot. You see, when I gave up the street, then Paula started selling herself. She went out. Stacey's a lovely kid, and it'd be a terrible thing for her not to be able to get the education that she needs to get on in life. It won't be able to be done by hand, because you'll take the whole cut off the dress, destroy the dress. When I was 17, I'd have loved that chance. No problem. And I just want Stacey to have that chance. Do you know?
In South Kerry, on the morning Jane is due to leave for Wicklow, she prepares to say goodbye to her family and head to Capure. She never ventures far from her home alone and likes to stay within her comfort zone of Killarney. Now she's been given the opportunity that could potentially change her life.
You know, this morning I woke up and I was Will I just not bother and go back to sleep and say, that's it, you needn't go, you don't have to, you know, that type of... I'm playing around with this kind of a verb all the time, and I'm saying to myself, well, do that. You know, they're down here now, and, you know, all this kind of thing running through the mind like so.
We've never been away from each other. The experience would be good for her, all right. But of course, myself and Jordan will miss her.
My husband keeps saying to me, it's only a couple of hours away, like, you know, a phone call away, as he says, like, but you're talking about spending nights there. I know there will be people with me, but I mean, I'm trying to stay away from my family now and away from my home, you know. It's very difficult, really. If I achieve this, it will be something great for me. My St. Teresa statue, for one thing, in my bag, which I carry everywhere with me. I need another thing, but I forgot to bring it. It's a kind of rescue relief. It's a little bottle you get in the health shops, like, but I totally forgot about it. I haven't got it now, and I feel panic that I know I haven't got that. It's causing panic within me, like, that I haven't got it, you know.
What the students need most is self-confidence. One way of building this is to introduce the group over dinner to others who have overcome similar challenges. This evening they are joined by Mount Everest and Antarctic explorer Pat Falvey.
So I became a multimillionaire at 21, and by the time I was 29, I thought I had a Midas touch. You know, I thought, like, I was the man, like, you know, but I couldn't really read or write properly. So I went through an educational process to do so. Well, you know, the biggest reason why people don't actually try to fulfill their goal, like me actually going back in to get that course, right? Do you know what it is?
Too hard.
No, the fear of failure. The fear of people turning around and saying, you know what, you're stupid. And what it does, it lowers our self-confidence and self-esteem. And that's what happened to me when I was...
I'm after getting this book off Pat. On the front of it there, he signed it. True Carolyn, follow your dreams. And then he drew a little man or a woman on the top of the mountains. And at the end of it there, then it says, I'm on top of the world, and that's where I want to be when I finish this course. Please, God.
I couldn't achieve anything now because all my money was gone. And then I went hill walking reluctantly, and I climbed a small mountain. And sometimes it's about setting goals. And you know, I put my hand across to Val, the guy that asked me out, and I shook his hand and I said, you know, Val, I'm going to climb Mount Everest. You know, there's some very strong characters there, no matter which way you look at it. And I think that's always the way in something like this. Like, you know, some people will, you know, will have mighty, strong characters, and some people will have a disbelief in themselves, and other people will, you know, will pull them along, and then eventually they'll all achieve their goals, I believe, from the group that is here anyway. And I believe, like, everybody has an Everest, right? And it's whether it's the pregnant mother giving birth to the child, the patient conquering serious illness, or it could be any goals that any of us have.
It's a very, very good weekend, actually. I feel we've been really motivated today. The bit of pottery we were doing, and then we got into lessons. And I feel that these weekends are actually like a door being unlocked out into the world of education. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Sunday morning, the final day of the first weekend, and before the rest of the group have woken up, Jane makes her way to Mass.
I've done this weekend, and it means so much to me. I didn't have to get help from anyone. I didn't have to call anyone. I did it all by myself, and that means a great deal to me. So that's what I was thanking the Lord for this morning now. When I was asked Friday about the course and how I felt about it, I said, ask me again. Like I said, it was a bit of a struggle, but it was nothing I couldn't handle. So yes, I am looking forward to next week.
However, back at Capure, the mood is not so good. Someone in the camp is not happy at all.
Sorry, I'm late. It's not due to my own fault. Used to the heating. No heating all night. Freezing cold. But it's not good enough. You all went to bed and left us without heating. It's as simple as that. But Rose, you had to... Yeah. No, excuse me, Caroline. I'm speaking for myself now. If you want to talk for yourself, even though we're in the ground. The crew. Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't bring anybody down. They brought me down. I would not go to bed, no matter whether I was the crew or not, and see somebody in the cold. My teeth was locking, like banging together with the cold.
Was it?
I slept in my clothes all night.
But you know, you wouldn't notice it. They're lovely.
I was getting a taxi home at 4 o'clock this morning.
Are you serious?
I am very serious. That's the type of a person I am. I'm not coming down here again.
Rose, don't do that.
No, I'm not coming down here again.
Come on, we'll have a crack.
No.
We would have changed. We'll have a crack.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting for everybody here. If you're here, you should be here from your heart. You should be here because you want to be here. And I personally don't feel that she is thinking like that.
Do you want me to go jump show to me and I'll go over and have a look at it?
I'll keep it warm.
You can't just allow one person to dominate the group and for other people to be feeling uncomfortable in the group. So certainly it would be addressed in a very sensitive manner.
Like, we all actually want to be here. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't actually turn around and say we're going. Do you know what I mean? We never even thought of it this weekend. Like, you're going home.
We've had one or two issues that have come up naturally, and we've tried to deal with them as tutors, but also their own fellow classmates have tried to help and support them as well. But I'm hoping with support of the peers that all the guys will stay the course.
Going to our derbs on Wednesday.
Next week, we'll see if Rose will return to Capure. How will this affect the other students? Will they all return? If you would like to improve your reading, writing and numeracy, call the National Adult Literacy Agency on free phone 1800 2020 65. That's 1800 2020 65.